My name is Doris Reese. I'm 26, and last month I signed a stack of papers that felt heavier than a lifetime of "we'll see." Not a mansion, just a plain, honest 3-bedroom with a squeaky porch swing and a front door that sticks unless you ask it nicely. The kind of place where the first echo is your own voice, not someone else's rules. It wasn't luck, it wasn't a gift, it was 12-hour shifts, hand-me-down tools, and a used Honda so loud it could wake geese. It was saying no to dinners out, and yes to doing laundry at midnight because the electric rate dips after 11. At 17, my parents told me, "You'll figure things out. We've got your sister to think about." They said it tenderly, like fairness was a bedtime story we'd all outgrown. Emily is 2 years older and the kind of golden child who glitters even in bad lighting. Straight A's, captain of cheer, and a legendary talent for making empty things sound important. Last year it was a jewelry line, then an online yoga program where none of the students were real. Now she's a lifestyle auto-content creator, which, near as I can tell, means posing beside cars she can't afford while hashtags do the heavy lifting. My parents call it visionary. They call my work fine for now. I kept the house quiet for a couple of weeks, not because I love secrets, but because I hate congratulations that sound like apologies. Eventually, I caved. I sent a message in the family chat. Housewarming this Saturday, 5 p.m. Nothing fancy, burgers, sodas, a place with my name on the deed. Would love to see you. I attached the address and a photo of the welcome mat I bought on sale. Wipe your paws, a little cartoon dog wagging like he's proud of me. No one replied for 6 hours. Mom finally texted, "Oh, honey, Emily might be doing a thing that day, but we'll see." A thing. I texted Emily directly. "Hey, can you make it?" Her reply was almost instant. "Ga would totally, but I'm doing a test drive. Big content op. Sorry. We'll hang soon, though." A test drive. My housewarming versus a steering wheel selfie. I tried to be reasonable. Maybe it was a sponsorship, a real contract. Later, her Instagram announced, "Big day coming. New car vibes. Manifesting horsepower." Hashtag vroom vibes. Only mom reposted. "So proud of our girl chasing dreams." Not a word about the daughter who just became a homeowner. My boyfriend Adrian called around noon. I could hear the hum of the hospital behind him. Night shift anesthesia, the kind of job that eats your sleep and calls it devotion. "I'm sorry I can't be there tonight," he said. "FaceTime me when they arrive. I want to see that porch swing." His voice made the house feel less empty. I promised I would. He promised coffee at dawn on his way home. At 4:45, I lit a citronella candle and sat on the porch in the good light. By 5:30, the candle was half gone, and the brie was sweating like a confession. By 6:15, I understood. They weren't coming. Not because of a flat tire, not because of an emergency, because Emily had an opportunity, and I wasn't one. I popped the champagne anyway. The cork hit the ceiling like it was trying to escape. I toasted the silence. To owning a house, I whispered, and to not apologizing for it. The neighbor's scruffy dog, Bruno, who behaves like he pays rent, barked once. It was the only applause I got. Dusk dropped like a curtain. The patio lights glowed against the sliding glass door, soft and stubborn. I sat there long enough to hear the cooler turn the ice to lapping water. I ate a slice of cheesecake with the plastic fork still in its wrapper because dignity was already on the floor. My phone buzzed with notifications I didn't open. One story from Emily, hard-eye selfie in a red convertible, vroom vibes only. A repost from Mom, so proud. Dad texted, "We'll swing by next time. Congrats, kiddo. I'd have preferred the marching band." I posted a photo of the patio anyway. Sunset, string lights, my feet up, a glass raised. Caption: "First night in my new place. Grateful." It got 5 likes, one from Adrian, one from a real estate agent who cold emailed me in July, one from someone who runs Bruno's account. Yes, Bruno has an account. No, I don't know who. I told myself I was fine. I told myself I didn't need anyone to clap. But there's a special hollowness to eating party food alone. The cheeseburgers, 18 of them, stared at me like little moons I'd planned to share. I shut my phone off to outquiet the quiet. Later, I turned it back on because the silence was louder than any sound I'd ever heard. That's when the first call came, 11:56 p.m. Dad. I let it ring out. 11:57. Again. 11:58. Third time. 11:59. Fourth, fifth, sixth. At 12 a.m., one more. Then nothing. I stared at the log like it was a trick photograph. No texts all week, not a single, "We're sorry we missed it." But suddenly I'm the hotline. My first thought, Emily crashed the car. Second, Dad needs money. Third, Siri learned how to harass. A voicemail icon appeared. I stood in the kitchen under the crooked champagne mark on the ceiling and pressed play. Dad's voice was low, gruff, strangled somewhere between anger and panic. "Hey, it's bad. Call me back. We have a problem." Just like that, 5 words. Not, "We miss you," not, "We're proud of you," not even, "Are you okay?" A problem. As if I were a plumber with a family discount. As if the house I just bought was a call center where emergencies go to be solved by the reliable one. I set the phone on the counter. I didn't hit replay. I didn't call back. I brushed my teeth like this was any night and crawled into bed in the shirt I'd ironed for applause that never came. The house creaked like it was learning my name. Somewhere outside, Bruno barked at a passing leaf. At 7 a.m., the phone was still. The kind of quiet that follows a storm when birds consider forgiving the sky. My thumb hovered over Dad's name. Curiosity, that traitor won. He answered on the first ring like he'd been waiting to catch me breathing. "Finally," he snapped. "What took you so long?" "Sleeping," I lied. "What's going on?" Long exhale, a whisper in the background. "Mom," the distinct cadence of someone who wants to be overheard. Dad lowered his voice. "It's your sister." Of course it was. "What happened? She crashed the car into a dealership?" "It's more complicated." Paper rustled. He cleared his throat. "The new house Emily's moving into, there was some confusion. Mortgage company called this morning. They've got you listed as the primary cosigner." I didn't sit. I did not breathe. I just watched the champagne stain on my ceiling tilt as if gravity had questions. "My name," I said. "It was just easier this way," he rushed. "You've got better credit, stable income. Emily's between gigs." "Between personalities," I said. "You used my information." "We figured you'd be okay with it," Mom called, brighter now, like customer service. "It's family." I looked around my kitchen. The counters I scrubbed, the burgers I made for the people who didn't come, the welcome mat that asked for pause, not signatures. I unlocked my phone, opened the app I'd opened at dawn, and checked the confirmation again. Loan frozen. Credit locked. Alert set. "Well," I said into the phone, voice steady as a level tool, "I'm not." Silence thickened. And across the room, on the table where no one had eaten, sunlight hit the brass mailbox nameplate I hadn't installed yet. My last purchase yesterday. My name alone. A promise I was about to keep. "Dad," I said softly, "tell me exactly what you did." He swallowed. "We have a problem." "For once," I answered, "we do." Dad's silence was long enough for me to hear the hum of the refrigerator. Steady, loyal, something that never asked for thanks. Finally, he said, "Look, Doris, don't blow this out of proportion. It's not like anyone forged anything." My hand tightened around the phone. "You applied for a mortgage under my name. What would you call that? Generous borrowing." "It was just easier this way," he said again. "You've always been the practical one. Emily's credit isn't great right now, and the loan officer said a cosigner with stable income would help." "So you used me," I said flatly, "without asking." In the background, Mom's voice floated in, chipper and brittle. "Oh, honey, it's not a big deal. You're family. This is what families do for each other." I let out a short, humorless laugh. "Funny. Families usually ask first." "Don't be dramatic," Mom snapped. "You've always been so sensitive about money." "Sensitive?" I repeated. "Try responsible. There's a difference." Dad sighed, the kind of sigh that used to precede a lecture when I was a kid. "Can you just come over? We'll sort it out together." "No," I said simply. "You and Mom can explain over the phone, right now." Another pause, then softer he said, "It's already done, Doris. Emily's move-in date is next week. We just need you to—" "Undo the fraud?" I interrupted. "Yeah, about that. I already froze the loan." "What?" "I got a notice this morning about a new mortgage inquiry under my name," I said, pulling the email back up just to hear the rustle of panic on the other end. "I locked my credit before you even called." "You what?" Dad's voice went sharp, defensive. Mom's voice rose behind him. "Why would you do that?" "Because I didn't apply for a $500,000 house," I said evenly. You did. The silence that followed was thick enough to choke on. Finally, Mom muttered, "You're making this harder than it needs to be." "Mom," I said, voice shaking, "you didn't even come to my housewarming. You ignored me all week. Now you're calling because my name was useful to you again. Do you even hear yourself?" She didn't answer. Dad cleared his throat. "We'll fix it. Just don't talk to anyone at the bank yet. They're panicking and it'll make things worse." "Worse for who?" I asked. "For Emily," he said immediately. "She didn't know." "Oh, she didn't?" I murmured, though part of me already doubted that. "She just needs this, Doris. Her content's doing really well lately, and this new house—" "Stop," I said sharply. "If I hear one more word about her brand, I swear I'll hang up." He stopped. "Good," I said quietly. "Now tell Emily to call me herself." It didn't take long. 2 hours later, my phone buzzed with a text. Emily. "Hey, sis, can we talk real quick? LOL, things are spiraling." That word again. LOL. Before I could decide whether to answer, my phone started ringing. I stared at it for a full 10 seconds before picking up. "Hey," she began, drawing it out like we were catching up over brunch. I didn't respond. "Okay," she sighed. "So, Mom and Dad kind of jumped the gun. I didn't even know your name was on anything. They said it was just a cosigner thing." "Emily," I said, steady as I could. "It's a $470,000 mortgage." "I know," she said quickly, "but no one's asking you to pay it." "Oh, good," I said. "Then I'll just send the loan officer your Instagram handle when the bank calls. They can DM you about payments." She groaned. "You're being so dramatic. This isn't the end of the world." "Not for you, maybe. For me, it's identity theft." "You always make everything about you," she shot back. "That's why Mom says you're impossible to help." I laughed. "You mean that's why no one tells me things? Because they know I'll say no." "Can't you just help me fix it?" she asked. "I already told my followers I'm moving in next week. My realtor's freaking out." "You mean the one who sent me an email this morning?" Her voice faltered. They reached out to you?" "Yeah," I said, opening the email again. "Apparently they had trouble reaching the primary borrower. Imagine that." Before she could answer, another notification slid across my screen. An email from the realtor's assistant. I froze when I saw the name. Maya Phillips. Adrian's ex. Of course. Maya had been nothing but polite the one time we met. A little too polite, in the way people are when they still measure your worth by how fast you replace them. She worked in real estate now. Apparently, fate had a sense of humor. Emily was still talking. "They said it's just a mix-up, and they'll need you to confirm identity." "I already did," I said. "Told them I'm not involved, and to cease processing." "Doris," she gasped, "you just ruined the deal." "No," I said quietly. I protected myself. She was silent for a beat. Then her voice changed. Higher, trembling, theatrical. "You don't get it. This house was supposed to be my next chapter. I need it for my brand." There it was, the truth beneath the tears. I leaned back, calm again. "You'll have to manifest another one," I said. "You're ruining my life." "No," I said again, sharper this time. "I'm stopping you from ruining mine." Then I ended the call. I stood in my kitchen for a long time, the phone still warm in my hand. My heart was racing, not from guilt, but from something unfamiliar, relief. The next email came at noon. Subject: confirmation needed. Mortgage identity. Discrepancy. From Maya Phillips. "Hi Doris, we've been informed there was a miscommunication regarding the cosigner. Emily mentioned this may be a mix-up. Could we schedule a quick call to clarify before the application is canceled?" Maya. I stared at her name, feeling the heat of 1,000 small ironies. Maya knew Adrian. She probably knew every detail Emily had shared, and now she was trying to pull me back into the mess politely. I typed my reply slowly. "I am not involved in this loan and did not authorize my information to be used. Please cease all further processing, or I will contact legal counsel." Then I hit send. 10 minutes later, she replied, "Understood. We're deeply sorry for the confusion." The word confusion made me laugh out loud. Confusion doesn't fill out mortgage paperwork. Confusion doesn't memorize your social security number. I shut my laptop. The sun was slicing through the blinds, carving stripes across the counter. For the first time in a long while, I felt steady, angry, yes, but anchored. When Adrian called on his lunch break, I told him everything. "Good for you," he said immediately. "Don't let them guilt you into cleaning up their mess." His calm tone steadied me even more. Then, hesitantly, he added, "You said the realtor's assistant was Maya?" "Yeah," I said, watching my own reflection in the dark laptop screen. "Small world." He murmured. "She called me this morning, actually. Said she might need me to confirm your employment status for a background check. I told her she has no business contacting me about you. I smiled. Good. Doris, he said softly, I know your family's never made it easy to stand up for yourself, but you did the right thing. I nodded, even though he couldn't see me. I know, I whispered. For once, I'm not fixing it. And that was the moment I realized this wasn't just about paperwork. It was about a lifetime of being the fallback plan, the dependable spare part everyone expected to run without maintenance. Not anymore. By morning, my phone was a crime scene. Dozens of notifications. Not from family, of course not, but from strangers. Emily had gone public. A dramatic black and white reel. Her sitting cross-legged on the floor of an empty living room, eyes down, piano music swelling. Caption. Sometimes family lets you down in ways you never imagined. I trusted someone I loved, and now my dream home might slip away. Please be kind. Her followers had flooded in like an army of sympathy. You don't deserve this. Some people just hate to see you win. Cut toxic energy out, Queen. I didn't even have to read between the lines. She'd painted me as the villain. And my name wasn't even mentioned, which somehow made it worse. It was the kind of vague, manipulative storytelling that thrives on imagination. I sat at my kitchen counter, scrolling in disbelief until a text came through, from my old friend Joe. You seeing this? She's crying on live. My stomach tightened. I clicked the link. There she was, mascara tracks perfect enough to make an influencer proud. My own sister, she was saying, used my credit to apply, then pulled out when things got serious. And now the whole deal's collapsing. I just feel betrayed. Betrayed. I nearly dropped my phone. I wanted to go nuclear right then, to post the screenshots, the emails, the call log. But Adrian's voice echoed in my head. Don't let them drag you into their storm. So I didn't post. Not yet. Instead, I opened my notes app and drafted something clean and calm. Here's what really happened. My sister used my personal information to apply for a mortgage without my consent. The loan was frozen before any money was released. I've contacted the authorities. Please stop spreading lies. Below it, I attached the receipts, the mortgage email, the realtor's message, and the voicemail transcription that started it all. We have a problem. Then I saved the note, but didn't post it, because sometimes silence makes the guilty panic faster than proof ever could. At noon, my phone buzzed again. Maya Phillips, the realtor's assistant, Adrian's ex. Her email was soft and slippery. Hi, Doris. I just wanted to reach out personally. I understand tensions are high, and I'd love to resolve this privately before things escalate online. Could we hop on a quick call? I stared at the screen for a while. Maya's "resolve this privately" read like, please help us save Emily's image before we get dragged on social media. Before I could reply, Adrian called. Did she email you? He asked immediately. Yeah, I said. She wants to talk. Don't, he said firmly. She called me earlier too, asking if you'd be open to clarifying misunderstandings. I told her not to contact either of us again. Wait, she called you? Yeah, claimed she was trying to verify some employment info about you for the lender. She's really overstepping, I muttered. Adrian's voice softened. You okay? I'm fine, I said. It's just surreal. They're all acting like this is some PR crisis instead of fraud. He was quiet for a second. You're handling it better than anyone would. Better than I thought I would, I admitted. By evening, Emily's reel had racked up 40,000 views. And then, something shifted. Someone, probably a follower who enjoyed detective work, posted a screenshot in her comments. It showed the pre-approval document. Blurred, but not enough. My name was visible right there beside hers. The thread exploded. Wait, why is her sister's name on this? Did she forge it? Is this even legal? Then another commenter posted a link to my housewarming post, the one I'd made quietly 2 nights before. First night in my new place. Grateful. The timestamps matched. My party had been the same night as her test drive. The internet did the math faster than any investigator ever could. By 4 p.m., her comments were chaos. By 5, she'd turned them off. By 6, she deleted the video entirely. My phone buzzed again. Dad. I didn't answer. Then Mom. Then Emily. At last I caved and texted one word. What? Emily replied almost instantly. Happy now? You ruined my career. I typed, deleted, typed again. No, you did that when you lied. She didn't respond. I thought that was the end of it, until Adrian showed me a message on his phone later that night. A DM from Maya. Hey, I just wanted to apologize for earlier today. I never meant to make things messy between you and Doris. If you ever want to clear the air, I'm here. Adrian laughed, shaking his head. She really thinks this is about her. I tried to laugh too, but something about it stung. Maybe it was the idea that, once again, I was surrounded by people who twisted a mess into a sympathy play. He saw my expression and reached across the couch. Hey, don't spiral. We're solid, okay? I nodded. Yeah, I know. He squeezed my hand. Your family's noise isn't your identity. Remember that. That night, I went out to the backyard, lit the grill, and cooked every leftover burger from the housewarming that never happened. Bruno sat beside me, tail wagging like an old friend. I handed him a small piece of burger. You're the only one who actually showed up, I said. He barked once, solemnly, as if agreeing. When the moon rose, I took a photo. Smoke curling above the patio lights played in my lap, a calm kind of defiance in the air. I captioned it privately in my drafts. You can't steal peace from someone who built it themselves. Then I closed the app. Tomorrow would bring more noise. But for tonight, the quiet was mine again. It was 4:27 in the afternoon when the knocking started. Not a polite tap-tap. No. It was the kind of knock that carried entitlement, the rhythm of someone who believed doors opened for them on command. I froze halfway down the hallway, heart thudding. Then a voice cut through the door. Doris, I know you're in there. Emily. Of course it was. I opened the door just enough to see her reflection in the glass. Designer sunglasses, oversized hoodie that probably cost more than my rent had ever been, hair perfect in that messy on purpose way. She crossed her arms. You ignored my calls. You mean the ones after you lied about me to 30,000 strangers? I asked. Her lips twitched. Wow, you really think this is all my fault? I don't think, I said. I know. She pushed past me without asking, the same way she used to when we were kids, like my space was always temporary. You don't get to ruin my life and then hide. Funny, I said, shutting the door behind her. That's exactly what you did. She dropped her designer tote on my couch like she was staking territory. You don't understand, Doris. Everything's falling apart. The deal's collapsing. Sponsors are backing out. People online are turning on me. I cut her off, and maybe they're just seeing who you really are. She scoffed. Oh, please. You think you're some hero for freezing the loan? You're the reason I'm homeless next month. You mean the house you tried to buy under my name? She glared at me. It's not that simple. It's exactly that simple, I said, walking toward her slowly. You didn't ask. You used me. And when you got caught, you played the victim. Her eyes filled with tears, but her voice was sharp. You've always hated me. Admit it. I blinked, stunned. What? You've been jealous since high school, she snapped. Mom and Dad noticed. Every time I achieved something, you acted like it was a personal attack. Emily, I said, trying not to laugh, you call posting car selfies an achievement. Her lip trembled. This isn't funny. You've ruined everything I built. No, I said softly. You built your success on borrowed credit. Mine. She went silent. Then, lowering her voice, she said, You owe me. That word, owe, landed like glass shattering. I owe you? I repeated, my voice rising. For what? For years of being compared, dismissed, ignored. For the way you and Mom always made me the backup plan when you failed? That's not fair, she snapped. Fair? I stepped closer. You didn't think about fair when you skipped my housewarming or when you signed my name on your dream home. She looked away, jaw tight. I didn't sign it, Dad did. That stopped me cold. Excuse me? She hesitated, then sighed. He handled it. He said you'd be fine with it. He told the broker you were family. My stomach dropped. You knew? I didn't realize it was official until later, she said weakly. I thought it was just paperwork to help speed things up. So you just didn't ask any questions? She shrugged. Dad said he had copies of your old co-signed documents from when you helped him refinance the cabin years ago. He used those. My pulse spiked. I'd given those papers back, years ago. Mom had promised she'd shredded them. Now I could see it clearly, how Mom probably saved them just in case. The betrayal was almost physical, like being punched in the lungs. You have no idea what you've done, I said quietly. It's not like we thought it would matter, she said, voice wobbling. I stared at her, this grown woman still clinging to excuses. Something in me hardened. I walked to the counter, grabbed my phone, and opened the draft post I'd written days ago, the one labeled, Here's What Really Happened. I turned the screen toward her. Read it. Her eyes flicked across the lines. Every receipt, every message, every truth. She went pale. You wouldn't. I would, I said. And I will if you ever lie about me again. Her voice shook. This would destroy me. I shrugged. Then maybe stop destroying other people. Just then, a knock came from outside. A different rhythm. Professional, composed. I peered through the curtain. A woman stood by a silver car, clipboard in hand. Maya Phillips. Of course. Emily's eyes widened. Oh my God, she's here. What is she doing here? I hissed. She said she wanted to deliver some correction forms, Emily whispered. Just sign them, Doris, please. It'll fix everything. No. Doris. No, I said again, louder this time. I'm not cleaning up your mess. Emily stepped towards the window. She's going to record if you don't cooperate. I crossed my arms. Let her. Maybe I'll record too. See whose footage looks worse. For a moment, we just stared at each other. Two sisters, the air thick with all the years we'd never said what we meant. Then Emily's phone buzzed. She glanced down, her face crumbling. It's Dad, she whispered. He said the loan officer called him. They're launching an internal review. Good, I thought. She looked back up at me, eyes glassy. You don't get it, Doris. This was supposed to be my redemption, my proof that I could stand on my own. I swallowed hard. You can't prove independence by stealing someone else's foundation. Her face twisted. You're cruel. No, I said quietly. I'm done. She stared at me for a moment longer, breathing hard. Then she grabbed her bag and stormed toward the door. This isn't over, she hissed. I opened the door for her. You're right, I said. It's finally starting. She slammed past Maya without a word, getting into her car with the kind of fury that always follows entitlement denied. Maya lingered on the porch, awkward smile plastered on. If you just sign... I cut her off. If you value your license, leave. Her smile faltered. She turned and walked away. I locked the door, heart pounding, every nerve in my body humming like a live wire. When I turned around, sunlight caught the brass mailbox nameplate still sitting on the counter. I picked it up. It gleamed, solid, permanent. My name alone. I whispered it aloud. Doris Reese. For the first time, it didn't sound like an apology. 3 weeks passed. No calls, no texts, no surprise knocks. Silence. Steady, peaceful, almost sacred. I used to think silence meant something was wrong. Now I knew better. Sometimes silence means you've finally stopped being used as background noise in someone else's story. Emily's social media vanished for a while. 3 whole days, which in her world was an eternity. Then she came back with a soft filtered selfie and a caption, Growth season, new chapter loading. I didn't comment, but someone tagged me with a popcorn emoji. I blocked the thread. I wasn't here for the encore. Adrian and I spent that weekend fixing the porch swing. It squeaked like it was mourning the past, but we got it working again. He sat beside me, handed me lemonade, and said, You know, I think this is the first time I've seen you look relaxed. I think it's the first time I've earned it, I said. He smiled. So, what now? Now, I said, I live. He laughed softly, the kind that says you mean it this time. That night, I finally installed the brass nameplate on the mailbox. I wiped the last smudge away, stepped back, and stared. Doris Reese, not borrowed, not shared, not part of anyone else's brand. Just mine. 2 days later, a small envelope arrived. No return address. Inside was a plain white card. 5 words written in Dad's familiar scrawl. We didn't handle that right. No signature, no explanation, just those words. I didn't cry. I didn't call. I tucked it into the junk drawer next to the spare screws and a broken flashlight. Some things aren't meant to be displayed. They're meant to remind you what not to repeat. I heard through Joe that the house Emily tried to buy fell through completely. The lender launched a fraud investigation. The realtor dropped her. She's renting now, a short-term apartment with half her stuff in storage and fewer followers than she had last month. Funny thing about public sympathy, it burns out faster than integrity. Mom tried reaching out once through Facebook. A comment under a photo of my garden. So proud of how far you've come. I deleted it. Pride means nothing when it comes from the same hands that signed you away. The quiet has its own rhythm now. I come home, kick off my shoes, water the plants, hum while Bruno barks next door. No tension, no waiting for the next emotional invoice from family. Just peace, the kind I didn't know existed when I was always bracing for the next favor disguised as love. Sometimes I still hear echoes of the old guilt, tiny voices whispering, maybe you went too far, maybe family deserves one more chance. Then I remember that love without respect isn't family, it's captivity dressed as care. And I promised myself I will never apologize for setting myself free. One evening, I hosted a small housewarming redo. Not for show, not for validation, just a quiet dinner with Adrian, Joe, and 2 coworkers who'd become the kind of friends who show up without needing an invitation. We grilled, we laughed, we toasted. No speeches, no guilt trips, just people who came because they wanted to. At sunset, Adrian leaned in and whispered, "You did it. You built your own home and your own peace." I smiled. Yeah, and this time everyone who showed up actually wanted to be here. When they left, I stood on the porch alone, the night warm and still. The wind rustled through the trees, brushing against the new nameplate. My name caught the moonlight, solid, quiet, unborrowed. I took a deep breath and whispered into the night, "They missed the housewarming, but I didn't." Because I finally showed up for myself.